Hey everybody, I'm live. I am not sure. I could have hit it a little bit early, but I wanted to make sure that we're not late. I want to honor all of you that came so early. We had a wonderful chat going during the early part right before I went live. And the very first thing I'm going to do actually is I want to make sure you're familiar and understand the entire back office. So the very first thing I'm going to do is share the screen. Feel free to write your questions in the chat. If I don't see it immediately, I will go back and look through and make sure I hit every question that you have. Because at the end of this webinar, the major, most important thing to me is that you know where everything is, you know how to get started, you know what it's all about. All right? So we're going to go ahead and share the screen. I'm going to throw on my eyes so I can see. And I am going to jump right in here to the Got Backup. Sorry, I had a different link up, so that's where I ended up. But this is the back office that you're probably going to see for most of you. And it says Got Backup here. And the very first thing you see when you come into it is this welcome screen with webinar with a big video on the front here. And you know what? I want you to take the time to actually watch this video because it walks you through. I mean, I'm going to do the same thing right now, but it does walk you through the back office. So if anything that I say or do tonight is not completely clear, absolutely go back here to this video and walk through. You might also notice there's three buttons down here that kind of are the quick buttons to get to where you want to go. This one takes you actually to your cloud dashboard. So I'm going to open that now so you can see what I mean. Once you're set up, of course. It's actually going to take you in here to where you can actually go online and look at your files from the cloud. The other thing is you want to know where your promotional tools are. Those are right here. We're going to go through this in more detail in a little bit, but I want to make sure you know where all of this is. And then the last one is everyone asks how the compensation works. And this tab is just for that purpose. So anything that you need people to understand, it's already lined up as easily and simply as it can be in our Got Backup. I want you to notice another thing that's up here that probably a lot of people don't pay attention to because the default is probably English. But if you are a different language speaker, or if you have somebody that is kind of looking at Got Backup and they speak a different language, we have the option actually to change our whole back office. And guess what that means? That means that the links we're going to change as well, okay? So if I come back here to where the promo links are, and I change this to that first tab just for the purpose of you seeing this, you might notice that this is now not English, but another language, okay? And it says Afrikaans. I assume that means Africans. That might be people that are not English speaking. So to get back to the English, you simply just click the English and it's going to be in English again, okay? And this is what's really cool is all of our pages automatically change and so do the links and everything so you can talk to anybody from any country. And I know that we're over 70 countries right now that are using the Got Backup system. So first off, before I go too far, I want to make sure that you know exactly where everything is. And as I showed you in the beginning, we started out on the welcome team on this welcome tab, which is always going to be where you show up when you log in. And then you might notice that the next thing that is on the left here, and everything is on the left, is digital tools. Okay. And if you click that, The only thing you're going to see right now, unless you buy any of our other products, is the Got Backup tool, which is where you are, right? And which you're interested in looking at today. In order to get to that same screen I showed you before that goes to our cloud, you want to use the tool. That's also where you're going to find the apps to get started, okay? So if we scroll down here, I want you to notice something here. This is not just for the Macintosh computer or the Windows computer. It is for all of your devices, including your iPhone, your tablets that go with that, your Google Androids, whatever you have is all set up in here. I also want you to notice that if you want to watch the videos, the iPhone is under the Mac because that is the company that built both, right? So that makes it easy. So let's just click this. I happen to have an iPhone. I don't have a Mac. I have a Windows, but I do have an iPhone. So if I wanted to watch the videos, here is all of the videos for setting up if you have a Mac, but also if you have an iPhone, that is where you would go to make sure and set up correctly for your iPhone. Okay? And the same thing goes with Windows. If you click on the Watch Everything here, you're going to see how to set up in Windows. I advise you to take the time to look at this. If you want to not have any problems in your install, and I believe that most of the time it happens because you didn't take one of the major steps, and there are specific things you must do. Now, one of the things I also know, especially in a Windows environment, turn off the things that are in your tray that might interfere. For instance, in mine, one of the things that usually tries to interfere with an install is Windows security. You can actually have it disabled for just a few minutes while you do your install. And another thing is your virus protection. This is my virus right here. And if I was actually going to do a brand new install, I would actually quit this for a few minutes. And then the only thing you have to do to get that to be everything going again is to do a restart, which I think makes a lot of sense and makes it easy to do and not difficult at all. Okay, so I'm going to come back here to this right here. We're in use the tools, and you saw me come to the reseller tools, but now here is the tab for that. So let's go ahead and click there. And you'll notice, of course, the very first one is our promo links. In order to use any of these links, you actually need to click this. Or they just changed this, you might notice, to copy the promo link. So let's see what happens when we do this. Man, they make this so simple. Yep, now it works directly from there. How cool is that? So they just changed that, I think. Let me close a few of these tabs so we don't have too many open. Okay, so that's brand new. They just put these up because I don't remember seeing that before. And here's another thing. If you want to know what's going on, if you've been promoting a link, this actually will show what's happening with that link, which is really cool. Now, in this case, there aren't going to be a lot of visits because this is a demo account. But in your personal account, this is going to show a lot of activity if you're promoting that link. And it's going to show all of that in there. So isn't that cool? You can do that right there. And then if you want to get back to your main link, all you got to do is come right back here to where it says reseller. And you're going to get there again to the very same ones. This page right here is actually the Get Started page, and this is the tour page. Those are the two we use the very most. And the other one that's really cool is down here. We use this right here where our actual video links are. So you can actually promote the webinars, or you can grab a replay link. This is for this particular video, but it might be that it changes. I don't know. I haven't seen this. This whole page has been updated since I last looked at it, and that's pretty cool. And like I said, copy the promo link, and also notice this middle one right here. I've been sharing this, but now there's an actual plus tracking link right here. You don't even have to go to the second link. And to track, you simply write something in this part right here. Let's say you're going to do a solo ad, okay? And it's going to be July 6th that you're going to start that, okay? Well, if you put in a date, which I think is the easiest way to do this, and then you come down here, look at what happened. Here is that same link now with a tracking code on the end of it. So it's as simple as that. It's really, really fun and simple to do this. Remember, go back to the reseller tab again, because there's more in here than just that promo link. We have banners. We'll go ahead and click on that. Banners are used when you have a website. And to use it, you simply copy the code right here. See where I have my mouse pointing? If I click that, you'll get a notice that it's copied, and then you actually have it in the clipboard, so of course you need to paste it somewhere. And when you do that, that is usable, and it's cookied to you. And then we have, of course, advertising copy. This is something you can use on Facebook, or you can use it in emails if you want to. But I want you to notice this one in particular. Somebody brought up the pre-enroller, and that they had a bunch of pre-enrollers today. And I wanted to make a note of that and say that we actually have right here a really, really easy thing that you can do. So simple. All you have to do is email now, and it's going to copy this, I believe, right into an email. And of course, you can make it also your paid members. And it didn't actually, but you can actually go and use this template. But let's go back for a minute to where I was. And let's go ahead and copy this first. All right, let's select and copy. I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to hit that copy email now. And I want you to notice something, that you can actually go ahead, use a template. That's going to put it down here, but you don't have an email copy right here yet. So what you can actually do is get rid of this, and then go ahead and do a copy paste. And guess what happened? I copied all of that stuff from that email, and now it's in here, okay? There's things that you can use or get rid of. I don't think the title's very useful. If you have a logo, that's great. If you don't, it's probably a good idea to just delete that. Then make sure that you change some things so that it's your information. For instance, my name is Demo Account. Obviously, that would not be what you want to say. In our case, you'd want to put your first and last name there so they know who you are. I am your sponsor and got backup. I joined because today's digital world, more and more people need a backup solution for their computers and mobile phones. Now, what if after this part right here, you wrote your own story? I had a major external drive crash, and I could have lost everything. Thank God I had got, whoops, got backup, and everything was in the cloud, and all I had to do is download what I wanted on my drive. This is my own story. This just happened recently, but you could write your own story. Or you could leave some of this in here and some of it you don't need to leave in here. Sometimes emails, when they get copied, they do weird things, okay? So you need to actually pay attention to that and change some of this stuff so that it doesn't look weird. Now you'll also notice it says email, phone, Skype, but it's empty, right? This is for you to fill in. Put your own email, put your own phone number. If you have a Skype, if you have a Telegram. If you don't have this, I do, but I don't ever use it, then I'm going to take it out. And then don't forget to log in. It already has the link in here to see how fast your power line is growing. Join my team today. This is already going to have your link in it. And then again, make sure it has your personal information in here. And I would actually recommend that you put a picture in here. Now, if this was actually mine, I would add my own personal picture. And how you do that is you simply go in here, click the picture, browse for one, and let's just say I want to use this one. It's not the greatest picture, but I'm going to go ahead and use this. Make sure this picture isn't bigger than 600. In fact, it'd probably be better for it to be less, like that. Now, I didn't use the most beautiful picture. I just used most of a recent picture I used. But now it shows my face. And this makes this more personal. That's all you do. And then you just hit this add button. And what happens after you do that? It comes up down here. Now this account does not have any emails to send, but notice how it's flashing right here. You know why it's doing that? Because it wants you to put it in the queue. And if it doesn't get put in the queue, it won't be sent. So if you actually have a whole bunch of email in your, say your people that are in the pre-enrolls and in your leads, or if you have leads you've sent to a particular place, make sure you click this. Now I'm not going to do that because this is a demo account, but I want you to know that that is what you need to do. We make this more simple than I have ever seen any other company do. Most of the time they leave it up to you what you're going to say. And this is really, really, really simple. Now there's a few more things in the reseller tools, and that is the banners. I would recommend you only use these once in a while, not all day long every day, because people can start to see these as just ads. But instead of just posting one of these, put your story in there with it. In other words, tell why you thought it was important to you and what happened to you and why you wanted it. Because most people have done it because they see, not just see the money, but you also see that it could save you a huge headache and not have pictures and videos that disappear because you didn't have a good backup plan. Now, I've always believed in backing up, and I've had backups in the past that end up costing me even up to $100 a month. So this is a very cool way that you can save a lot of money, and you are unlimited on uh, how many devices can be involved, and you have up to 6 terabytes. I did not say gigabytes. I said terabytes. Now there's only, again, we've already been kind of in the lead system, but I want you to realize that you have the option to send broadcasts every day if you want to. Now, that is one of the secrets to why people stay in my team, is because I always send out messages on a regular basis every day to my team. Now, of course, there are no subscribers in this demo account, but we do have, every one of you have a few subscribers, even if you're really pretty new. And get used to now being interested in them enough that you're going to communicate with them. Even though the company sends out emails, make sure that you're doing it too, okay? And when you do, I promise you, you're going to have better success, because just letting the company do all the work and you do nothing is not a formula for success. Now we've got a few more things in here. And notice there's also a tab for getting business cards. That is exclusively only in the back office of Got Backup, which is really cool. And then we have where you can go to find out. First off, the very first tab is compensation plan. That's that same tab I showed you earlier that shows them how the compensation works. And we have one of the best compensations I've seen in any program I've been involved with. And then in the payout history, that is if you've had some past commissions. But if you're brand new, you probably won't see anything there. But when you start to get commissions, they're going to show up on this tab. Of course, this account, again, has no users, no people in it. But so that means that there's not going to be any money in here that we're showing. And when people start to join you and pay for it, they're going to show up in here. Now, this does not let us see the whole thing. Oh, it does actually, because they put a demo power line person. So what happens is, in the case of, I even need to get past that email just in case YouTube thinks I'm hurting people, which is silly, but that's what it does. People will be added to your power line list right here as they pay, and every Wednesday night at midnight, in other words, Thursday morning for most of us, they will be added to what's called your tank. And when they're added to your tank, that means that you can place them. As your list starts to grow, you're going to be placing them in this list, and it's going to go down and down and down. Now, with mine being here for 3 years, my list is fairly long, and the only way I can get to the actual full thing is by clicking this, and then I have to scroll down depending on which side I want to put them in. And the way, my rule of thumb, the way I keep mine straight, even though it functions this way with 4 on one side and 2 on the other, when you get down to the end and you start having people that stay and some that don't stay, just keep it equal as close as you can. And this is how you find out. You come down here to the stats page. It's not going to show anything on this page, but everyone else is going to have something happening here. And what you're going to start to see is that there is going to be 2 numbers, one on this side, one on this side. And what I always do for mine is I make sure I keep these fairly equal. And because I do that, I get paid from the binary, which is the third way that you can get paid in our compensation plan. Now, that is not a guaranteed thing, but that happens as your team grows. And it does go by 4 on one side, 2 on another, but that will not be something you can control after you get going. My team, like I said, it's hundreds of people down, and there are people that are active and people that are not. And so, to keep myself so that I know where I'm at, I keep this equal on this here. So, I wanted to make sure I covered that because I know that's something people are always asking about. When you have a brand new affiliate, they will show up in this list right here. And again, these are fake, they're not real, but this is where they will show up. If you want to know where all of the all of the webinars are, and we have 4 of them now. I'm doing the Monday, of course, and then the next one that comes up is the Wednesday cutoff, and that is 8 p.m. Eastern Time with Joel and Mike. Then we have Thursday now. This just started a few weeks ago, and Jerry is doing how to recruit from social media in particular. And I do recommend, if you don't know how to promote this link in a good way so that you can actually get sales without making people think you're spamming, please come to uh, his presentation. And on Friday morning, we have recognition. And then they do a little bit of meet and greet. They tell about the program. They give you a back office tour usually. And they do an actual office tour where you can see the servers and various different things. And that is again Joel and Mike doing that. We do have a webinar replay page, but for the most part, this is only going to be one. But just keep in mind that if you want to know where every replay is, you are right now in the YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed to that channel, okay? And that helps you a lot. Now, of course, there's going to be some advertising. There probably will be t-shirts in here later. They do have the business cards. They're available now. The leaderboard, this one is not the complete whole company leaderboard. This is just the got backup leaderboard. The marketplace, I believe, isn't just showing you other products. At least that's what I have usually seen. Oh, I guess not. Right now, it is showing you some other digital tools you can use, which is emails for you can actually create new programs with that. But that is really it. And then there's one more tab that they just added recently, and that is the facts page. And they keep adding to this too, which is pretty cool. And what they do in here is there is a video explaining each of these things that they have in here. And they have 16 items in here. If you are confused in the least bit with Got Backup, I do recommend you go ahead and watch these. And I don't think anybody will be confused after they go through these 16 videos. I also want you to notice one other thing. If I go to here in particular, I want you to notice this orange video over here. We have one of those, especially like in this system right here. There is an orange video, and this one is one that Dave, I don't know his last name, has put together, and he'll go through in detail just the part that is connected with right here. Sorry. And if I hit each of these, there, I don't know why I'm doing that. Let me put something in my mouth. And you'll notice again another video. And if I hit each of these, here's another video. If I hit in here, in other words, every one of these has a video. If you haven't yet figured out one part of this, everything is lined up with videos. In our first page, we have our welcome video. And then, of course, here's the comp plan videos right here, right? If you want to know how to get set up, use this tool. If you come on down here, guess what? More videos. Whenever especially you see this orange banner, that usually means there are videos attached to that link, okay? So make that a plan. Whenever you see orange, that means videos. That means they have set up a page that is going to explain one of the things that it's attached to. So I've pretty much covered in pretty detailed now all of what that back office is about. So I'm going to come back in here and look. Do we have any questions that I haven't covered? Okay, lots of people saying hi. That was at the beginning. If you have a question that you don't think I answered, make sure and write it in the chat here. I spent a good 30 minutes going over. Okay. Be nice is asking, do we get spillovers? Spillovers happen mainly if you have an active sponsor, and it can be somebody that's 2 or 3 levels up that is really putting in a lot of people. What spillovers really are people that go into the binary. And if you're in a particular place at the top, people are going to get put in underneath you. That just means one leg, though. Remember, even spillovers doesn't mean no action, all right? It means you've got to do something. But that's a good question. Okay, and okay. I don't see any questions. Okay, is this worldwide? Paul, this is nearly worldwide. Because this is a digital program, it is going to be available to pretty much anybody in the world. And it's just a matter of whatever relationships that people have, and they are interested in sharing it with them. And as you're willing to share it with someone, even if they don't speak English, remember the very first thing I showed you was that you can change the language that you are looking at. Like if you're on the links page, you can change the language and you can get a link that is in their language. Okay? And like, yes, thank you. And like Richard said, you can't rely on spillover to build your downline. Spillover is generally only going to be one leg anyway. And remember, the binary works if there is at least 4 on one side and 2 on the other. If you do not have both legs going, there is not going to be money for you. So that means you better be willing to take some action. I don't believe people win if they're just sitting there waiting for everybody to put people in under them. That is a bonus if you have somebody that's in action above you, but you don't have a guarantee of that. There are times when people are really working hard above me and I see them, and there are times when I see nothing, okay? But I don't sit and wait for it. I take my own action. Okay, Ellie is asking, do we have the payout method WISE available? Ellie, it depends on where you are. If you are in, I believe, Canada or some other places where they don't have our Pioneer, then yes. If you would prefer to use WISE, then I would suggest that you actually ask through support if they can make that possible for you to open up a WISE account through our account, because of course we want everybody to get paid. that is earning. Okay, so that's very, very important. Okay. How do you who okay, how do you know who is your sponsor? Riddick has given that's a really good question. Let me go ahead and go back into my share screen and come back to my got backup. Now, if I come in here back to the my business tab over here, and I come on down to where it says my downline, I know that sounds counterproductive to actually go to that line, but your sponsor is going to show up right here, okay? For everyone that's not, this is a demo account, so it's not going to show that person. But usually the sponsor is on the top right here, and it's going to be right there. And that's how you find out. Just go on into your downline link, look on the bottom where it says your sponsor's name, okay? And it's going to be right there. Okay, got backup shows in my side menu of File Explorer. It doesn't show up there in my wife's side menu. I don't know, Ed. You might actually, is she actually just under you as one of the users inside of the program? It might be that she's just a sub account, basically, right? Did you add her in under you? And if that is the case, she is not an affiliate, but you are. Okay. So I believe that might be part of it. But if you think there's a problem, definitely go and ask support about that as well. Okay. Hello, Linda. Could you please explain how the tracking works again? Thank you. Okay. I will be glad to do that. Let's go back to our got backup. And we're going to come on over to our actual, we need to be in the reseller tools tab. And if you look right here, you don't even have to know where the tracking is. If you create a tracking link, you simply click right here. And what's going to happen is it adds a little tab over here. You need to type something here or it won't create anything, okay? So right now your link is right here, but you need something over here in order to create a tracking. And what I did, I was just pretending I had a an email going out, a new clicks that I had just paid for or something. And I put in a date. This is the date, right? So if I said this is going to happen in right after the 4th, so this is the date that it's going to go out, right? And so I'm going to actually tab down because you need to be in this, you need to click this link. But here is your actual link, see? And so if I click right here, now you have a tracking code on the end of this link. Now, why that matters? Let's go back. Is that if we go, we need to be back here in our reseller tools. If we go back here again, now I created a link, but there was nobody actually clicking on it. But let's pretend you actually had people clicking on it because you bought clicks and they're going out on the 6th of July. Once that has gone out and people are starting to get in on it, it's going to show up in here. So actually, this has got 3 visits, but this is just, somebody clicked. This isn't real. But if you had real people looking at it, you would see real information. These lines would be moving up and showing some activity. And that is the beauty of using that tracking link. I hope that makes sense to you. All right. How do you actually use the product? How do you download and save your files? Okay, in Rick, I want you, so you want to say, I set up an iPhone. How do I start to download? If you set it up in iPhone the way it says to do it, Rick, it shouldn't be that you have to do anything at all, but just set it up to actually do the backup. Now let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Well, share the screen. I'm going to go in and show you what I'm talking about in, whoops, sorry about that. I went to the wrong place. Okay, so we don't want that anymore. But let's go back to the actual startup video where those startups are. And if we go to actually use this tool, you'll notice I got back into the dashboard, right? In order to make sure you've done it correctly, please watch the download video, the install videos that are underneath the Macintosh for the iPhone. If there's a step you missed so that it's not working the way it's supposed to, because you should see it in there, then here is the app, how to install the app and get it set up correctly for the iPhone. Make sure and watch this video completely and do exactly what they tell you to do, because there's some specific things that you need to do to get it set up correctly. One of them is to make sure that you have it set up to actually back up regularly or daily or whatever you want to do. That is in the setup of the app itself. And you need to make sure that you do that. So watch this video, because I could walk you through it, but I don't have my iPhone where you can see it, and it's better for you to watch this video. I hope that makes sense to you. Let's come on back. All right. We're getting some good questions here. That's awesome. Upon sign up, if you signed up with leads taken care of, can you explain what that means exactly? Sylvia, that's going to mean that yes, you're going to have the company sending emails. They're going to put a follow-up sequence in there that are going to go out to them. But Sylvia, I really recommend you don't just sit there and wait for the company to do all the work. If you don't follow up also, I can't guarantee that they're actually going to stay with you. They need to see that you're a real person, but you don't have to sell them. What you're going to do is you're going to go in and send them an email and say, "Hi, I'm Sylvia. I'm your new sponsor. I would like you to know that I'm here for you. I'm willing to help you any way I can. I love this company because most everything is kind of explained for you. I don't have to do much explaining exactly. All I have to do is show you that I'm real and I'm interested in you." Now, can you do that? Is that something that sounds hard? I sure think it isn't. Now, I hope you're talking to someone else, Daniel, because I don't understand Spanish. Okay, Linda, do I find out how many hits I have with advertising in a certain safe list, etc.? I don't know about a safe list, but the statistics I just showed would probably show it, especially if you did a tracking link. Now, if you're doing your basic link with no tracking link, it may not show a specific area where you're sharing that link. So do a tracking link, and then you will be able to look in there and see specifically where things are coming from. Okay. Great question. How to? Thank you. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. That might be just thank you. Okay, what I would like to know is this setup for Android now. Can I back up my phone, and see if it works for me first? Conag, you can absolutely follow the video that is under the Windows for Android, okay? Like I showed you before, if you look at the video, it will explain in detail, and its setup is actually really fast. It takes almost no time at all. All right? All right. Can we download this to Vista's Windows 7? As far as I know, it works on any version of Windows, Paul. So just go ahead and try it. If you have any headaches with it, please contact support, but it should work perfectly fine in any version of Windows, okay? As far as I know, there's no headaches with that. The only thing I do know is that Windows does not support their older versions anymore. Joe, we have our own autoresponder. I don't know of any that we don't have where you have to attach it to outside autoresponders. If you want to do that, you can, but you would have to create your own capture page to that. We have our own full system called SendShark, actually. So I have actually been a user of all of our products. I don't use any outside autoresponder. I don't use any outside anything to actually build this business. I use all of our tools. And I recommend you actually look into that for yourself. Okay. Okay. If you have someone ready to sign up under you for the $9 a month, it's $9.95. Where do you have them sign up at? Rick, you give them the sign up link. Let me show you where that is. I'm going to go back into our got back up, and I'm going to go to our reseller tools because it is in there. This is actually the sign up page. This one right here, okay? So if you've got really brand new people that are ready to go and they don't need the tour, they believe it's right for them and they want it. This is actually the sign up page right here. So you just take them to this page, and this tells them how it all works. Has a little bit, and this is of course the plan you want them to sign up on. This is a personal plan, but it will not give them affiliate links, so I promise them that this is the better plan. It's $1 more. It's not that big a deal, and it gives them a lot more value for the money. But this is their sign up page, so make sure you go to that page, which is this one right here. It looks exactly the same, only the link will be different, and that's where you send them, okay? All right, got it. Awesome, Ellie. I love seeing people get on it and start doing some work, and they figure out that they can do it and it's not hard. Congratulations, Ellie, for doing that. All right. I've caught up on the questions. Does anyone have any new questions they need to ask other than the ones I've answered? If not, we're pretty much done. I just want to make sure everybody feels really comfortable and they know where everything is and they get at it. The major thing is there's no real bad way to do this. Let me get a glass of water. The major thing is take some action. Get set up. Go and do something. Okay, Patrick. Okay, he must be up here further. Patrick, where are you? I don't see his question. Do we get paid the first month's commissions? Oh, here's a good one. Well, would somebody please have Patrick reset, put his question in there? But in the meantime, we get paid every Friday, but it's a month later from when that person paid. So think about it this way. Somebody becomes a new member to this month. They pay that first $49, and you're going to get about 50% of that, plus a little bit of a fee that's taken off. But you're not going to get it instantly because we have a month guarantee, unconditional money back guarantee for everything. And we do not question or argue with anyone that wants their money back. That makes people feel safe. But because we do that, you're going to wait a month to get your first commission. But keep on putting it in, people putting in, and people putting in. All right. All right. I don't see Patrick's question. Is there any others that have questions that I haven't answered or anyone? There are several questions that are, I mean, several things that are already in different languages. It looks to me like our pages actually change when we hit the Google language thing. But if that isn't the case, then just send them an email, send them a something, because if it has to be like a video, for instance, if the video has to be redone, that is going to take more time. So it just depends on what people are doing on that. Keep in mind also that often people in other countries actually speak English as well. And so it's not as hard as that. Oh, definitely Cindy. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Absolutely want everybody to feel really comfortable here. And so nobody's got a question that I wouldn't want to answer. Okay, again, I don't know very much about safe lists. There are some people that are really, really good at that. I don't generally use them, but I know that there are people that are using them. So I'm not the right one to ask on that. I'm sorry. But you can ask around in the group and see if somebody has the answer on that. But I know that people do use them. I haven't had as great a luck with that, and so I just don't. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means that's not my preference. Okay, so I would ask in our got backup group and see if people know about that. I became a member today. I'm still don't understand what to do to get paid. Unity, the main thing is, who do you know that has pictures and videos that would like to back up their stuff? That's your audience. That's your customer. People that want to back up their stuff. And so you just ask them the question. Do you have videos and pictures that you would like to back up for $9.95 a month? And, see if they would be interested, and then go ahead and invite them to look at it. You give them the tour link. Facebook assistants also ask questions. Okay, Facebook assistants. I don't remember that. Who is Facebook assistants? I don't see that one either. Okay. Thank you for your time. Oh, okay. That's not necessary to put that up. Sorry, I hit the wrong one. All right. Abandoned cart. Where to send them so they complete the transaction? Oh, good question. Okay. In most cases, they already have created an account, so you don't want them to go back to the original startup. Okay. You're probably going to ask them to look and see if I would give them the actual get started link. Don't get them in the tour link, get them in the last link you have. Okay. That's probably the best. And if it asks them to recreate their username, tell them they should try to use the same username. If they can't, they might have to use a new one, but they need to complete the process. And then if they still have the same problem, it might be that their card is not being accepted, and then that means they might need help from support or something. Okay, good. In the lead system, if you delete a person from one campaign as they have subscribed, are they removed totally or do they move to the next? No, if you remove someone out of a campaign and that's the only place they are, then they are going to be completely removed from your lead list. So be really cautious with doing that. The only time I would actually do that is if you know somebody is in several campaigns, more than one campaign. Don't do it otherwise. Otherwise, you're deleting them out of your system completely. Good question, though. Very good question. Thank you for that. And we're at almost an hour. Are there any more questions I have not addressed? Welcome, Maxwell, that you would like me to answer before we call an end to this broadcast. I will not close this down if there are still people that have questions. Thank you, Gregory. Thank you, Versus. It looks like everybody's pretty happy that we completed the webinar. The whole purpose of my doing this is to make you feel really comfortable and excited about going out and doing this. Awesome, Donald. I hope you do have a guest, and I do recommend you absolutely invite people. And oh, I almost forgot, before we go, make sure anybody that is not actually signed up, that you go to this link and this will get you started, okay? We have this cooking, so if you're inviting somebody, then they will be set up to you, okay? I did put in the link, Karina, and that is good. Thank you, Regeneration Zone. Yes, success is not. You're welcome, Victor. Awesome to see all of you here, and I see a lot of new names tonight. So it looks like a lot of you have come in from the invitation from either the emails or from the people that have invited you into the company. And that is exactly what we want you to do. And that's awesome. As the www is going away, I don't know what that means, But if you have a technical issue, then definitely, for sure, go to your support. That's your best bet in order to get help with anything that is technical that's not working correctly. We have a most wonderful and awesome support team. They get back to you usually within just a few hours a lot of the time, and it's just great. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate that. And I hope you guys have a most awesome evening. Again, make sure if you're brand new and you haven't yet signed up that you go here. Oops, make sure I spell this right. And we'll see you again next Monday. Of course, there's more webinars going to happen this week. Have a happy 4th for everybody in the U.S. And I will talk to you again next Monday. Bye for now.